Tonya, good morning.
Good morning.
Hold on. I think I've got you now. Good morning, Tonya.
Good morning.
So, an awful day for you to be talking about road rage, I guess.
Yes.
But this is the story that AAA came out with this week, and it hit big yesterday, is that a lot of us are very angry out there.
Oh, yes. A lot of us are very angry out there. It says, and this was taken, from traffic stats over the past year. And AAA found here in the U.S. nearly 8 of 10 drivers admit expressing anger, aggression, or road rage at least once in the previous year. Now, that could look like following too closely, yelling at another driver, cutting them off, making angry gestures, that kind of thing. It could also include bumping or ramming a vehicle on purpose or getting out of their cars to confront another driver.
Well, and we saw that with the NFL player who's from here, from Utica, Will Smith, in New Orleans, and that started with road rage, it seemed.
Yeah, this and it actually breaks it down geographically and along gender lines as well, because it finds that and this didn't surprise the folks who did the survey, by the way. The most aggressive drivers are young men ages 19 to 39. Male drivers 3 times more likely than women to have gotten out of a car to confront another driver or hit another vehicle on purpose.
I did it once when I was a kid, and I followed the guy right to his house, got out of the car, and realized he was like 8 feet tall.
Wow.
And he might not have, listen, he wasn't 8 feet tall, clearly, but
it just felt like it, huh?
It did look that way. And I don't know what it is, and it's guys, though, right? It's not the women that are doing this.
Yeah, men are 3 times more likely to do this. Now, and I will tell you, it's interesting, the geographical breakdown as well, because, and I don't think this is going to come as a shock to people, it's gesturing, honking, yelling at other drivers, that kind of stuff, significantly more prevalent here in the Northeast. Northeastern drivers, 30% more likely to say they had made an angry gesture at another motorist. Other aggressive behavior it didn't vary a whole lot by region, but that's the thing that apparently, the Northeast has the market cornered on, is the angry gesture. And having driven around New York City and New Jersey, I can attest to that. That's what happens when you drive around here.
I get bothered that, and I understand sometimes when people get angry over somebody who cuts them off or somebody that is rude when you drive. But sometimes people make honest mistakes.
Yeah.
And they get the middle finger for it. I'm not sure that's justified.
Right. I mean, and you could be dealing with somebody who is, a newer driver, and they're being safe, and they're really trying. They're going slow, maybe got in the wrong lane because they don't realize where they're going, or they could be an older driver, and they're just trying to keep their wits about them and make sure that they don't, I mean, like me, if I'm in a strange place, and you're not used to the lay of the land, you may go a little slower and make sure you're, not missing your turnoff or what. I mean, there's a lot of reasons for that. It's not just because people are trying to be mean.
And, these kids are 16, 17 years old when they go out driving in the beginning. And I hate to say it, but driving when you're 16 or 17 is like going to a Buffalo Bills game wearing a Jets jersey. Be careful out there, because it can get ugly.
I have teenagers, and we live here in Manhattan, and they're like, we want to learn to drive. And I'm like,
yeah,
I'm kind of torn, because half of me thinks that would be the worst thing in the world, and the other half is like, well, if you can drive here, I think you can drive anywhere.
I guess you're right, especially in New York. All right, Tonya, good stuff. Thanks.
Sure, thanks.
Enjoy the weekend.
Thank you. You too.
All right, Tonya Powers, Fox News. A couple biggies here that are interesting local things that I'd like to hit on. This thing with the governor. That over the transgender bathroom issue, when North Carolina passed the law, that what the law specifically says that a transgender person has to use the bathroom that is on basically of the gender on his birth certificate. So after that, Governor Cuomo came out and said, we're banning all non-essential travel to North Carolina. Well, Duke and Albany are supposed to play each other in college basketball, but because that's a state-funded university, the Albany is not allowed to travel to North Carolina. So the game was canceled. And wait till you hear what the North Carolina governor said to Cuomo. In essence, he says, listen, I understand you have a ban on travel, but every year thousands of New Yorkers decide to pick up and leave your tax-heavy state and move to North Carolina and call it their home. Game on. Thought that one was pretty good. We'll get to all of that coming up. Also, there was a fire, Zena's, the cafe down on Varick Street. Their home caught on fire in New Hartford. It was a bad fire, and you got to look at the mugshot, Christine, that is on our website. First of all, it's a woman who has been charged with driving while intoxicated. She's smiling. She has and it's a very nice photo of her, to be honest with you. Looks like it was done by Olin Mills or something at Kmart. But it's a beautiful photo, and she's smiling. And I got to tell you, I think they say she's 52 years old. Is that what the story says?
She looks good for 52.
She looks damn good for 52 years old. Unfortunately, the story's when it all goes downhill when you read the story. Remember, though, it's all alleged, but not a good charge against her in terms of driving while intoxicated. So police say. 6:30. Christine does the full newscast coming up. Hold tight. Coming right back. It's WIBX.